She realized something was wrong before she even understood what had happened. The wave hit a little above her knees. She laughed. That light, effortless laugh that only comes when, after a long time, you finally relax. The sun was low, turning everything gold. Michael was on the sand a few yards behind her, taking pictures. It was the second day of the trip. 2 years planning that week. 2 years of saying, when we can, when the kids are a little older, when we finally get a chance to breathe. And there they were. Alone. No kids. No work. No notifications. She spun once more in the water, feeling the waves crash against her legs, when she glanced down at her hand. The laughter died instantly. Her finger felt light. Empty. She blinked. Brought her hand closer to her face. Turned it toward the sunset, as if the ring might somehow be hiding. But it wasn't. Her wedding band was gone. It wasn't loose. It wasn't twisted. It wasn't tucked into her palm. It had disappeared. And in that second, the thought wasn't just, I lost my ring. It was, I ruined everything. She froze. Her body still in the water, her mind racing in panic. Then she dropped to her knees, ignoring her soaked dress, and started digging through the sand with her hands. The tide moved faster than she could think. Michael noticed something was wrong. He stopped taking pictures and walked toward her. What is it? She couldn't answer. She just raised her hand. He looked. His expression changed. It wasn't anger. It wasn't shouting. It was silence. And sometimes, silence is worse. I lost it, she whispered, her voice breaking. I lost the ring. That ring. The one he had bought by working overtime. The one that held his grandmother's diamond. The woman who taught Michael what commitment, loyalty, and patience looked like. The woman who used to tell him, when he was still a teenager, marry someone you're willing to forgive. That ring wasn't just gold and stone. It was history. It was sacrifice. It was promise. And now it was somewhere beneath the ocean. They searched for over an hour. The sun went down slowly, as if it had nowhere else to be. Other people on the beach came over to help. A man brought a metal detector. Every small beep made her heart jump. Every false signal felt like a cruel reminder that the sea doesn't give back what it takes. Sarah started trembling, not just from the cold. How could I be so careless? She repeated in her mind. Why didn't I take it off? Why don't I think? But what hurt more was something deeper. The last year had been hard. Nothing dramatic. Nothing scandalous. Just heavy. Arguments about money. Constant exhaustion. That quiet feeling of living more like logistical partners than husband and wife. They loved each other. But they were tired. This trip was supposed to be a reconnection. And now, on the second day, she had lost the very symbol of their union. Her mind began linking everything. Maybe this is a reflection of what's already wrong. Maybe I'm ruining more than just a ring. Michael stayed quiet while they searched. Focused. But he didn't say much. And his quietness hurt. Finally, the man with the detector shook his head. The tide's coming in. It's going to be impossible now. And that was when hope ended. Sarah sat down in the sand, completely soaked. The sky was dark now. The wind colder. She couldn't look at her husband. I'm so sorry, she kept repeating. I'm so sorry. Michael stood there for a few seconds, staring at the water. Her chest tightened. What if this is the last straw? What if he's tired of always being the strong one? What if this confirms I don't take care of things the way I should? I know what that ring meant, she said, her voice breaking. I know how hard you worked for it. He took a deep breath. And then he said, simply, it's just a ring. She lifted her face. What? It's just a ring, Sarah. Her tears came harder. It's not just a ring. It was your grandmother's. It was everything. He took her hand, the empty one. No, he said. You're everything. We're everything. The ring was a symbol. A beautiful symbol. But it's not what holds our marriage together. She fell silent. Because deep down, she hadn't just been afraid of losing an object. She had been afraid of losing his admiration. But in that moment, he was choosing her. Not the diamond. Not the money. Her. That night at the hotel, Sarah couldn't sleep. Michael fell asleep quickly, exhausted. But she stared at the ceiling. She lifted her hand in front of the bedside lamp. Her bare finger looked strange. Vulnerable. As if something essential was missing. 4 years, she had twisted that ring during hard moments. During arguments. During insecurity. It had been a physical reminder of the promise. For better or worse. In sickness and in health. Now there was nothing there. Around 2 in the morning, she stepped out onto the balcony. The ocean was dark, vast, indifferent. Somewhere down there, maybe the diamond was still intact. Maybe it would never be seen again. She took a deep breath. I feel so small, she murmured into the night. So careless. I don't want to be the person who breaks things. She didn't say a formal prayer. She was just honest. Thank you that I didn't lose what really matters. Help me remember that when I forget. There was no audible answer. But there was a slow peace. As if she was beginning to understand that the sea can take metal. But it cannot take a promise. The next morning, Michael found her on the balcony. Are you okay? She took a few seconds before answering. I think I was holding on to that ring like it was proof that we're okay, she admitted. Like without it, something was at risk. He stood beside her. We're okay because we keep choosing each other, he said. Even when we fail. Choosing. She thought about that word all day. Later, they walked through the small coastal town and stepped into a modest jewelry shop. Nothing luxurious. Just simple glass cases and warm yellow lights. Sarah felt embarrassed. As if she didn't deserve another ring yet. Michael asked to see simple bands. He chose a plain silver one. Smooth. Subtle. When he slipped it onto her finger, he said calmly, this doesn't replace the other one. But it represents the same thing. Maybe even more. It's not about what was lost. It's about what remains. Her chest tightened. Because in that moment, she had nothing to offer except regret. And still, she was receiving. That's grace. Not pretending the mistake didn't happen. But loving anyway. Years later, Sarah still wears that silver band. They eventually replaced the original ring. Insurance helped. Time helped. But the silver remains. Because it reminds her of the night she thought she had ruined everything. And discovered she hadn't. Somewhere in that ocean, there may still be a diamond buried in the sand. But the promise came home with them. Stronger. More aware. If you've ever stayed awake replaying a mistake. If you've ever felt the weight of, I ruined everything. If you've ever looked at something lost and thought it defined you. Listen carefully. You are bigger than your worst moment. Real love is not sustained by perfection. It's sustained by choice. By forgiveness. By hands that keep holding yours when you feel undeserving. The ocean can take gold. Time can take youth. Circumstances can take comfort. But the things that truly matter are written deeper than that. In promises. In mercy. In people who say, it's just a ring, and mean, you matter more. So if today you feel like you've lost something important, maybe you're about to discover what cannot be lost. Because what is real does not disappear in the sand. It remains. And it remains in you. If this story spoke to you, share it with someone who needs that reminder. And tell me, have you ever been shown grace when you didn't think you deserved it? Let's build a place where it's safe to be imperfect. And still loved. I'll see you in the next one.